I became vegan because I could no longer think about eating something that was once living and breathing.
The primary thing that keeps me vegan is just always...
Unfortunately, I don't think the Crowder is finished. Not even close. Not even close.
Is the animal liberation, the idea that we are trying to push our ideas onto others. That stereotype I've experienced the most.
Hunting is a very hard concept for people to understand. I am in Texas, it's a lot more acceptable, even though being a woman who hunts, people still, have a really hard time with that concept.
I feel like a lot of people think vegans are more effeminate. People will question your sexuality oftentimes.
I grew up in a rural village, living off the land.
Fellas, is it gay to be vegan?
And the way we live is in total respect to the animals, and I think there's so much that people do not know about indigenous culture.
No, I think there is some truth to that. If you show an interest in caring for the environment, and by extension, a lot of veganism and the decision to become a vegan is not only for animal rights purposes, but also for environmental purposes. Random question, what music are you into? What music am I into? I think a lot. I do think that one of the more reactionary responses to having any interest in preserving our planet is questioning one's propensity to be masculine, and by extension, questioning one's sexuality, which is fucked up. Which tends to be thwarted only toward masculine people or men, which is strange, is wanting to live gay. But yeah, no, I see that. I like a lot of alternative rock and experimental electronic music. I feel like the hunters and vegans will get along fine, to be honest. We'll see.
My name is Danny. I'm queer, I'm vegan, and I'm multiracial.
Hi, my name is Don Marvens. I've been a vegan for coming on 6 years now. I'm a freelance photographer, and I recently moved to the LA area.
My name is Nina. I'm 24. I've been vegan for coming up on 5 years now, and I'm a professional astrologer.
Hi, my name is Brittany.
Oh yeah.
I'm Koyukon Dene from Alaska. I'm a first-generation college graduate, and I went to school in the California area, and I'm currently on a road trip visiting friends to learn whose land I'm on.
I'm Carly, I'm from Texas. I'm a wife, a mom. I also do sales and marketing consulting.
The first prompt is, I care.
Hold the fuck up. I thought the whole shtick was to have equal numbers of people. What's up? This doesn't make sense. I'm already taken aback by this. At least even the score here. Where's the other hunter? Hunter bailed? The title said somebody couldn't make it. Apparently it's difficult to get hunters in California. 2 hunters with cold feet. Alright.
About animals' well-being. Walk forward if you agree.
Is that surprising to y'all that 2 hunters walked over?
I would love to hear why. Yeah, I would love to hear it.
Hunters have the utmost respect for animals. And I think that's a really hard thing for people to see. It's how can you love something and respect something that you kill? It's just a hard concept, right?
Indigenous practices talk about this, the love and the respect that you have toward animals. And the gratitude, the unwavering gratitude that you have to the animal that you kill that gives you life, that maintains your life. That's actually pretty well known.
Conservation is a big reason why I hunt. It not only provides food for my family, but I can shoot a certain number of deer each year, and that will keep that population and that herd thriving.
I guess I've never really came at this conversation from like an angle of vegans versus hunters. It's always vegans versus a meat eater. So I understand in a sense the respect you have to what you're doing. I just know that I could never do that.
Yeah, and I think that for me is one of my maybe more bigger issues, is not with vegans, but it's more people who eat meat but don't understand hunting. So you're gonna eat meat that was slaughtered at a factory, but I can't just give a deer one swift, great bullet in the heart where it dies out where it's supposed to die.
I was one of those people that said I could never even be vegetarian. Like, I was probably like the people that you're describing, just, you know, not having a connection to what they're eating. I didn't.
Well, goddamn, wavy breads. You didn't have to be so graphic. Why don't you, like, mercy kill them before you boil them to death? Wait. Or are you like, wait, please tell me that you're not like a line cook at Red Lobster. Or a line chef or whatever the fuck they're called. Oh my god. You're in the ballpark? Oh my god, if you're the head bitch in charge of Red Lobster, I swear to god. Merciful death spoil the flavor? Okay, I'm in the ballpark. Well, come on! The suspense is killing me. What do you do? Different seafood joint. God damn it. Oh no. The fish one? The other major seafood. I'm a sea hunter, basically. Alright. Subnautica? Fuck.
Think about it. And then, as streaming services go, I found a little documentary through the suggestions.
But it changed your life.
And it changed my life. And like, I remember I went to brunch that morning and I had like sausage and egg and like fried cheese. And then that night I watched this documentary. And so that's why I'm vegan, because I can't support like us as an industry and as a populace, like removing the choice from that large of a swath of animal populations just because they're animals.
If there was a solution, like just the magic happens, the skies part, and all the meat is like done in a way that is humane, would that make you more inclined to eat meat?
I think that you sort of get into the fundamentals of like, is it humane to kill something? I have to understand and respect and honor that, like in indigenous cultures, you know, there's many reasons why people hunt. We would all be remiss if we didn't admit that, you know, at a time in human history, like we needed animal protein and animal meat to survive. But today, it's not necessarily a necessity.
I was being taught ethical hunting by an ethical hunter. And again, I think that's a harder concept here, because trust me, like there are asshole hunters. But that's what I saw
trophy hunters are
conservation,
fucking evil.
I saw ethical hunting, and I saw why we do it, and I saw the food. You know, I haven't bought beef I mean, in 6, 7 years.
Can I ask you a question that I'm kind of scared to ask?
And we'll see.
So you said that you're a mother, and if you think of like Bambi, do you ever consider the small baby animals that you're taking their parents away from them?
Okay. So Bambi doesn't exist. Right. That's a Disney movie. If a mom is there with her yearlings, you would never kill that mom, right? You wait until she kicks them out of the
Bambi
house.
deserved it? What the fuck, my pet snake? Why would you say that? Bambi did not deserve it. Why would Bambi deserve it? What the fuck did Bambi do? You sick fuck? Jesus, take it back. Some of the shit that y'all say that so-and-so deserved it, step the fuck back, alright? Step the fuck back.
And that's part of like ethical hunting.
That is like, yeah, no one really, like you wait until the babies are kicked out.
I learned from my Tlingit cousins, they're from the southeastern Alaska. They're the ones that invented the fish hook. It was so wide that only a full-grown halibut could get caught. It's a generational thought. You're not just thinking about, oh, I need food tonight. You're like, how do I make sure I protect their natural processes? When fish hooks are made now, anything can go out. So many of our...
I don't think people understand how incredibly cold, callous, and cruel they sound when they say that somebody deserves something or something deserves something. It makes you sound like a fucking asshole.
Pre-colonial traditions were staying in balance with animals, and we had so many practices that prevented overhunting. And the people who are living off the land, who are fighting for the land, are getting last priority. We're not allowed to fish if there's commercial fishing. We're constantly being watched and fined. It's constantly having land taken away. If you look at any community, it's constantly happening to them where they're told they're not allowed to do this or eat this. It's all connected, it's all a cycle.
Veganism is a privileged way of living.
If you have a choice of where you get to get your food and where it comes from, and even knowing about it is...
Post Revolution, thank you so much for the raid. Hi raiders, how are you doing? My name is Amy C3. If you're meeting me for the first time, I'm a leftist housing advocate here on Twitch. And we are right now watching a Jubilee middle ground video. Vegans versus hunters. It's interesting to say the least. I hope you had a fantastic stream post Revolution. Thank you so much again for the raid. And welcome raiders, get cozy. Let's do a wellness check for the raiders.
a privilege.
To have the choice to be vegan, that includes, makeup and clothing and all of these things. And, sustainable clothing, for example, is a top dollar if you're trying to buy it new. And thrifting is great, but some people don't even have access to that. And so I think that choice is a privilege and veganism is a choice.
I was born in Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and the fact that my parents were able to leave with me when I was just 1 year old into the States, really shaped how my life would go. The lifestyle that I'm living is such a stark contrast from the people down in the Caribbean.
I feel like I have to talk about how veganism, especially in the States and especially in the global West, has been totally co-opted by I'm just gonna say it, by whiteness. Veganism shouldn't be a privilege in my opinion, but it is. The world that we live in now, it is.
I don't know enough about being a vegan. I think of it as something that rich white people do, but I don't know. I don't know any vegans. I don't know how much money it costs.
Yeah, a lot of people also from lower income backgrounds are able.
What did you think of the debate? I thought it was awesome. The Prime Kai debate. It can be really difficult to have civil conversations with individuals who think that the best approach to addressing the affordability epidemic in this country that has led to an uptick of 250,000 people experiencing homelessness in the last year is the best approach. And it was really hard to maintain my composure whenever a panelist suggested that there was no value that a houseless individual adds to society, in which case it's hard to quantify the best market-based solution for someone who has no inherent or innate value that otherwise is quantified or part of a calculus in determining the market rates or the price index in which a person pays to keep a roof over their head. Obviously, I am a leftist housing advocate. That means I am interested in the interests of not only tenants, but homeowners, right? I'm not just a tenant advocate. I understand that a lot of homeowners are right now housing insecure in the same capacity as tenants who are paying high rents and could be at risk for eviction. I think housing is a human right. I think we have allowed the private market to provide us with our housing stock, which should have never been outsourced by the federal government. And we can go back beginning to the 1920s and look at how the government has responded to the precarious nature of our housing market and see how the government time and time again has favored the capitalist ruling landowning class. That has made it incredibly difficult to have an equitable system in place. The scales have been disproportionately imbalanced on purpose, and a lot of political power has been given disproportionately to that capitalist land-owning ruling class, where it almost seems as though the only way to balance the scales at this point is to see the same radicalized approach taken by the federal government in the opposite direction and offer all of the money, all of the sweetheart deals back to the people, which does seem incredibly unlikely because of the lucrative industry that the for-profit privatized residential housing markets. How much money this market does contribute to our greater economy it makes it incredibly unlikely that we would see the government intervention necessary to offer any kind of equitable outcomes when it comes to our current housing models. Real estate is cringe and not based. I'm sorry, I should always kind of preface anything that I say with the fact that I'm incredibly verbose, I'm data oriented, and I can keep going and going and going and never stop with my thought processes that might be difficult to keep up with if you're not completely familiar with this topic. And yeah, sorry about that. I'm sorry, I didn't know you had a debate on Prime Center. I was asking about the Cedar Crowder debate. I thought you kicked butt though. I hope you kicked butt though. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that you meant I thought you meant the Prime Kai debate. I don't know if you can call the. I was hoping that there was a debate. I didn't realize that there was no debate. Like, there was absolutely no debate at all. Like, there wasn't a debate. I enjoyed hearing about your thing, though. You're welcome. I thought that's what you meant, sorry.
Areas, they also rely on fast food, and that stuff is really cheap because, as far as I understand, the government subsidizes meat and animal products much more than it does vegetables.
When we think about someone who has to work a low-wage job to survive, you also have to think they're probably working more than one job, possibly. Mm-hmm. You want the easiest meals, you want the highest calorie meals because you're working and you're burning so many calories. So when you're saying, why don't you eat more plant-based, you're asking them to change their shopping habits, you're asking them to spend more time, you're asking them to educate themselves. And when you are working that hard, you have to numb yourself. You are eating to survive. That is different than choosing what you're eating.
Totally. And it's not fair to like ask any of those people in survival mode to completely like shift their way of life and learn a whole new lifestyle. And I definitely agree with that. I'm just curious, like, if we were all born like 3 centuries from now, the world has been globalized and like agriculture can reach every corner of the globe, how would that affect, if at all, your views or your choices?
Am I going to be judged if I say not at all?
I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah, I'm going to eat meat. I don't want to say there's no reason to not eat meat, but there's maybe no reason for me not to eat meat.
I get it.
I'm feeling judged.
I'm not judging,
you
but
know-
I don't understand. I'll be honest, I don't
Yeah.
understand.
I mean, like I still cry when I kill something. I mean, I love the animals, but they're still just animals. Like, it's okay to eat one. Everyone's been eating meat forever.
Lady.
That's true.
You know, and
It's been a
there's
long
never
time
been
practice.
a culture ever that was 100% vegan. You know, they have shifted. They're plant-based and Mediterranean and Buddhist, and they have moved towards a whole culture who was 100% vegan. I don't think has ever existed.
It sounds like it's a natural order kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's interesting to hear because I'm firmly of the belief that like we are animals. So for me,
We are animals.
the natural order perspective doesn't hold a lot of water.
Do you guys have pets? Like, and in other parts of the world, what you would consider your pet, some people would eat.
But that's there. I mean, like I don't eat my dog, and I
Yeah.
hope many don't eat my dog. But that's, you know, I mean, I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
worry about someone in China eating dogs. Like
Yeah.
we can all try to make the world a better place. And
It's interesting though because it does kind of challenge the natural order perspective. Like if,
Where do you draw the line?
Right.
Something to think
Other
about in
countries
this
eat horses? I mean,
conversation,
yeah,
too,
some people in
is
America eat
knowing
horses,
that,
too.
Even when we eat plants, there's so many people that we're exploiting.
Yes.
At the core of this, I think, is just having that respect for your food.
I fully agree with that. I think it's such a falsehood when vegans say cruelty-free. The avocados that I eat, you know, were harvested by people that are being exploited. So
Do you guys consider hunting a privilege?
isn't everything a privilege to a point, right? A lot of people are going literally in their backyard, shooting something, processing it in their house, and putting it right on the table for their family. Like that to me is beautiful. Hunting can be really expensive. You basically have to have a huge ranch or you have to spend a ton of money to hunt on someone else's ranch. And then I think what a lot of people see are, right, the trophy hunters and the going over to Africa and hunting. I have not done that yet. That does not mean that I am not for it or against it. I do know
No. 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 That just means like I can that translates literally to I can't wait to be able to finally go and trophy hunt over in Africa. I don't have the means yet. Yeah, yeah. There's no such thing. There's no ethical way to go about trophy hunting in Africa. Trophy hunting tends to be set aside to only those who have the means. I'm assuming it's not cheap to go over. I would say the cargo back to the United States would be incredibly expensive. And you definitely know she is saving up right now for, I mean, it kind of seems like she's 100% saving up for her trophy hunt trip to Africa. Trophy hunting is good, poaching is bad? No. Trophy hunting is absolutely despicable. Poaching is also despicable because you are putting the entire species of an animal at risk for some exotic good. You can still do that even if, you know, their coat or their bones are not used in some exclusive way, trophy hunting is still incredibly sickening.
Know that tourism in Africa is a huge moneymaker for them. I mean, those villages are really poor, and having an entire animal and multiple animals that hunters give them it's big for them.
My question with that would just be, why would it
She justified it by saying that it's good for the local economy. It's good for the local economy to go trophy hunting.
a tourist? It kind of just sounds like the white savior complex narrative.
Because we're willing to pay a load of money.
I remember reading a statistic about like a single elephant in its lifetime can garner over $1 million just from photographic tourism. One single elephant's ivory is about $21,000. So just that in itself, like to me, is evidence that like non-violent tourism, like non-trophy hunting
Hi,
tourism,
Ismana.
like is just as lucrative, if not more lucrative.
More
than
lucrative.
trophy hunting.
Hunting is only acceptable if it's for food.
Oh, wait, I agree with this.
Come on, Britt, I had to
If this was asked first, I would have disagreed. But after hearing your story, it is necessary to an extent.
If you're hunting for food, then you're saying that your life is more.
Chippy, hi. How's it going? How are you? It's been so long. I hope that you're doing well. It's so good to see you back, Chippy. How's DSA? How have you been?
Important than that other animal's life, and that is more reasonable to me than saying that your pleasure or your trophy or whatever is more important than an animal's life.
There's also safety, which I now realize, and it's like almost 2 hours if you needed a medical emergency evacuation. So yeah, I don't know any killing besides safety and like food, and then we still try to make the most out of the body and the fur, and we'll try to like feed it to the dog team. So.
There is just the biology
What's going
of
on,
land,
Thomas?
and there's biology of carrying capacity, and there's biology of how these animals have to be, you know, taken care of. I know that if people are not hunting, those deer are gonna starve. There's not enough food, there's not enough water, there's not enough shelter. So to me, I will take one for the team and I will shoot a few deer this year to keep the land in check and the ecosystem in check.
I don't disagree that maintaining equilibrium of an ecosystem is important.
I don't even know if it's the equilibrium of an ecosystem that is the real problem. That somehow, and I know that in some cases that has been true. Especially, what was it there? The deliberate placement of wolves at Yellowstone Park to balance out the natural order or whatever of that ecosystem, which I don't even remember the details of what animal was overly grazing that the park, or was kind of like taking over and almost like homogenizing Yellowstone National Park, but they brought in the wolves to like even out the playing field. The wolves in Yellowstone. Yeah, do you know what I'm talking about? Though the deer population would have boomed if hunters and ranchers didn't call out the damned wolves. Heard of it? Elk? It was elk? Unless hunting courses in Texas are literal garbage, she was an obvious lie, though the deer population wouldn't have boomed if hunters and ranchers didn't call all the damned wolves. Hunters killed wolves, so grazer populations soared, which changed terrain and literally the flow of rivers. Buffalo? You look like a goddamn alien. God, thank you. My boner is confused. Why do you have a boner? Oh yeah? Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. Apparently, and somebody dropped this in my Twitter comments, a lot of, and I don't know if this is true, but I'm just gonna repeat it. Apparently, a lot of runway models get that a lot, that they look like aliens. So make sure whenever you try to offend me by saying I look like a goddamn alien, you're not accidentally saying, hey bitch, you look like you could be a model, what's up? Yeah, okay, dial it back. Bella Hadid could abduct me. I don't care. Let's go. You know what? Thank you, Bye Pet Snake. I just saw that you donated $5. Sorry. Sorry if I made you feel so bad you had to donate. Sorry.
My question to that would be like, what's actually sitting at the root cause of the deer overpopulation? Is the root cause that people aren't hunting enough, or is the root cause that their land is being taken away? But me making assumptions, hunting is a Band-Aid solution.
Like, I wish I could answer a very smart and like, well, based on data,
Yeah.
done. I mean, look at Los Angeles and Dallas, and like, where are animals going?
Right.
They're dying. You know, I mean, but what is the solution? I don't know.
The US a lot of the times has tried to decide what animals need to go or not without the guidance of indigenous people who have been doing this for thousands of years and who have relationships with the animals. There are solutions, there are people that know it, and we need to push people in power to uplift voices who have this knowledge.
My diet is healthier.
Hey, girl.
Hey. The question is healthier than what? I chose to come up here because my diet is healthier than when I was not eating a vegan diet. I love a Beyond Burger. Is that healthier than eating rice, beans, and collard greens every day? No, it's not. Do I believe that eating plant-based is healthier than eating animal products? Yes.
And if you're super, super intentional and informed about what you're putting in your body, then it's gonna be healthier than someone who's not.
That's also healthier on an emotional and mental level. There's this detachment, this emotional detachment that you're going through when you're eating an animal, and that to me is emotionally unhealthy. I think awareness is one of the healthiest things that we can have.
I know if you like search veganism like online, especially on YouTube, you can see very dangerous vegan diets being like just told to like a massive audience of like young impressionable people. Like, but like Oreos are vegan, Twizzlers are vegan, and it's been 1 a.m. and I've downed a sleeve of Oreos. I'm just like, why did I do that?
Just
It's
wait
vegan.
till you're 30.
Yeah, I'm 24, so I feel like I'll just keep on kicking. I don't know.
Coming here, I want to be very careful in extremes. Like my meat is, my diet is healthier. I don't know that. I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know you. I believe the meat I eat is better.
Probably.
than what you would get at
I mean, that doesn't mean
McDonald's.
much. Like, I'm sure she hunts her own animals, she processes her own meats. It doesn't go through the factory farming process. I'm sure it's a lot better for you than what you get at the store. But the question, I believe, was whether or not a vegan diet is more healthy than a meat-eating diet. But, you know, I don't think Oreos are vegan. Yeah, they are. Oreos, the regular Oreos are 100% vegan. The cream is made out of, like, she's a butcher. It's like the hydrogenated oil or whatever. It's not made out of cream. Aren't you vegetarian? I am. There's palm oil in Oreos, though, not sustainably sourced, as far as I know. Okay, maybe that's it. Well, I just think that most people who assume that Oreos are not vegan think that the cream is, like, dairy-based, and it's not. It's oil-based and sugar that gives it, like, the creamy, it gives it, like, the creamy consistency and texture. Are there vegan Pop Tarts? I don't know.
I just think it would be so hard to be a vegan. Like, it seems like so much work.
There's a learning curve.
It's not hard in the grand scheme of things. I feel a lot better putting in the work because I feel more empowered, I guess you could say. The definition of veganism is just as far as what is practicable and possible. It's all about doing your best.
Hey, thank y'all for
God, it feels so weird to touch people.
Yeah, I was about to say, wait.
She's like, we can't do that, y'all.
Well, surprisingly unspicy. Yeah, they got along pretty well. This is much cooler when people aren't losing their shit at every little thing in the video. It was surprisingly tame. Except unfrosted Pop Tarts taste like cardboard. Do you know the only thing that doesn't make unfrosted Pop Tarts taste like cardboard? And that it's smothering them in butter. So, yeah. Hello? I'm sorry, but the cinnamon frosted Pop Tarts are the best. Butter on a Pop Tart? Butter on a Pop Tart is good as fuck. Yes. Never heard of trying butter on them? Oh my god, it's so good. Wait, you've never buttered your Pop Tarts before, Chad? How did you come into using butter? I don't know. It's just a family secret passed down generation to generation. Is this a West Virginia thing? I don't know. Maybe. Do you butter it after toasting? Yes. Yes, of course. You gotta toast it first and then butter. I remember Cartman did that. Oh, God. Sounds like a euphemism. No. Like, literally. After toasting your Pop-Tart, throw on some butter. It's good. It's common. It's South and East Coast. Thank you, Squishy Supreme. It's common on the East Coast and parts of the South. It has to be a euphemism. No, it's not a euphemism. Promise. I know a lot of... I remember, like, my roommate from Maryland did it, too. Yes. I think it is pretty common. I'm gonna try it and report back. You do that and let me know.